Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome to the call. Got myself, Mr. Kevin Kempton, just hopping on. We got our first come, first servers over here. Miss Sarah and Paul. What's going on, Miss Karen Taylor, Kainoa, Ellen, Andrea Dice Jones, Sherry Bettis back in the house. Y'all, we're gonna have some fun today. There's a lot of y'all still hopping on right now. We're gonna have some fun today. We're gonna talk about the philosophy of helping others through this protocol. And I love it, Kevin, and good seeing you and your lovely face this Monday evening. I know we just got off a call and now I get to see you. So what we want to talk about is, we want to start taking people through what it's like to be a coach, because I personally believe as you can help teach or coach somebody else, you learn again. You learn it twice. So it's not just going through the protocol yourself, but it's how do we teach? How do we train? What's the philosophy? What's the ideology that we're utilizing here? How do we ask the right questions? How do we give the appropriate answers so we don't overstep any boundaries? All these kind of come into play so that way we can get you and your families and your clients the best results out there. And there's a way to think about it and a way to look at it. Because once you do it, it's the same thing over and over. I know Kainoa is on the call, and Kainoa brings enough people to my office that I say, Kainoa, I know you should be able to say everything I'm saying right now. Because, I do this talk, I don't know, 4 times, 5 times a day, typically. And so when I break down somebody's body composition, when I teach them about what should be heard, there's so many things I probably forgot. I've forgotten more than most of y'all even know right now, but that's what we do. We continue to get better and grow and what's out there so we can be our very best. So that's what we wanted to do today, was really kind of go through more of the coaching protocol to help y'all get there. Thursdays, again, will be for the new people really coming in, starting loading. We'll go through those phases, but we'll give a little bit of background here. So Kevin, I'll let you kind of kick it off as you go to this. And also I did send you the link for the other presentation. I don't know if you got that email yet, but you'll see it when you get done with here. Because I know people are still hitting me for that info. But Kevin, starting the coaching protocol, go ahead and take it away. I cannot. You said, I bet,
can you hear me now?
Yeah, I bet you said probably the funniest joke that none of us got to hear.
It was amazing. It was brilliant. It just poured out of me. So the exciting part, Joe, is what I was telling everybody that nobody could hear is this is where it gets exciting. For any of you who weren't on the call on Thursday night, we are changing up the process of these calls. The call on Monday night is going to be geared towards coaching. These are people who are either wanting to share 180 with people, people who want to build a business with Prime My Body, with 180 and Prime My Body's other products. This is all about coaching. This is about helping people get the success with the 180 system, and particularly that's what this call is coaching and training with the 180 system. And we're going to go through and talk about that on Thursday nights. If you missed it, we did a PowerPoint presentation, and that PowerPoint presentation will adjust a little bit. Prime My Body will take it and create the graphics and the GUI interface that they want to do to brand it a little bit more. But that's going to be the same information each week, so it's consistent for new people coming, wanting to get started, or maybe trying to make a decision about starting 180. So tonight, to kick this off as we go through, same protocol for this call exists. So if you have a question, put it in the question and answer. If you have a comment, you can put it in the chat window. We may ask you to participate in that chat window. So we want your feedback. This is an interactive call. And so tonight, Jonas and I talked a little bit, and we're going to talk about the psychology of the 180 system. Want coaches to understand, as we've coached thousands of people on the system, everybody kind of goes through the same philosophy week 1, 2, 3, 4, and then into maintenance. And so with that, I'll go through that. Let me pull up my other account here. So if you guys have noticed, if you have coached people through the 180 system, the week 1, people come either because they've seen your results or you shared other people's results. They've seen things on social media. You might have just told them, hey, I've got this amazing new 180 system detox transformation. And maybe they just trust you enough that they're just going right with you because you told them. But either way, Nobody who hasn't done 180 before, other than seeing somebody else's results, they don't have their personal experience. That week one, people are skeptical. And if you've coached anybody, you know they're skeptical when you start talking about loading. You start talking about 300 fat calories. You start talking about 8 to 10 to 12,000 calories per day, gaining 5 pounds in 2 days. This stuff just sounds crazy. But what people can't argue with is the results they're seeing right in front of their eyes. They can't, argue with the new person they see talking, which is generally you or somebody they know that you know. And so that first week, they're going 100% on trust. And so week one is a skeptic week, and it's a week for you to shine as a coach. Week one is where they need daily contact. They need a phone call, a text message, something to help them through that first week as they might be struggling, having their challenges and issues. We call it Hell Week for a reason, because people are going through getting rid of all of their comfort foods. They're getting rid of their habits. They're getting rid of their crutches. And they physiologically might be going through headaches and detoxing. So it can be a tough week for people. And that's where, as a coach, you really want to help somebody figure out what is their why. Why are they really doing this? Beyond just the number on the scale, beyond just looking sexier in the mirror when you look back, why are you doing it? What's the real motivation? We've heard people like Wendy get on here and talk about how her doctor told her, you're ticking time bomb, basically, right? You need to do something. And so what the heck, I'll try 180. And you've heard her talk about her transformation, and many other people, Kevin Putnam getting on here and sharing the emotional transformation he went through. And his came at the end of the program after he had lost all of his weight. So it's a transformational thing. So that's week one. They're skeptical. This is not a week as coaches that we want to try and hit them with a bunch of new product information. We want to hit them about a whole new company idea. This is what we're focusing on them and their week one, Hell Week. Week two, people are getting excited. They're starting to see results. They've just lost 10 pounds in the first week. They're still kind of not feeling super maybe on top of their game, but they're seeing the light. And you're going to keep coaching them through that week two. Weeks 3 and 4. Let me go 3 and 4. There we go. Get my hands right. I can count. Those are the weeks that I get really excited, because the first 2 weeks is all about me focusing on them, helping them reach their potential. And Jonas, you can shake your head. Yes, you've seen this. As you coach people on this program, weeks 1, if you can get somebody through week 1 correctly, week 2 starts to fall into place. Have you seen that happen? I mean, I have found that I have to really beat somebody up in week 2 to keep them on the protocol if they get through week 1. If I lose them in week 1, if I let them mess up in week 1 and kind of start going into their excuses, I find I have to fight them all the way through the program. So week 1 is the most important for me. Week 2, weeks 3 and 4, people are starting to get really excited with what they're seeing and feeling, and really scared about maintenance. They're starting to worry about not being able to maintain these results. They're kind of, what am I going to do now? How am I going to maintain what I'm doing? I don't want to go back to the person I was just a few weeks before. And so people on this call, they're coaching. This is when you have an opportunity not to sell people, but to teach people what you have that's going to help them, truly help them with where they're at. And with Prime My Body, not only do we have world-class hemp products that are helping our bodies, we have new supplements that have just been brought on. We have an entire system, and we're working on putting those into packages for you guys to make this even easier. But even right now, somebody gets through, let me help you guys understand, as I've coached tens of thousands of people who do not do any kind of really good quality supplementation post-program tend to be back doing the program sooner than people who really take good supplementation. The reason why is they're taking things into their body that gives their body the ability to fight all of the garbage we're exposed to on a daily basis. They stay feeling better longer. So they maintain that results longer. And so weeks 3 and 4 is where you have that opportunity to help people understand, listen, you can go through the rest of life on your own, or you can give yourself an advantage by taking these supplements. And that's where I do that. They go into auto ships to take supplementation. So maintenance now is where you get to prove to people what you're telling them is true. Maintenance is where people get to see that they can go up a couple of pounds and drop it with steak and apple day. This is where they can see, hey, you know, I finished maintenance, I went on a cruise, I came home, they're freaking out, hey, I'm 5-6 pounds heavier, what do I do? Nothing. Just go back to the way you were eating before the cruise, and that weight comes right off, and they go, wow, Kevin, I can't believe this has never happened. We heard JT talk about that with his Montana ski trip. You know, he came home and noticed that his body was different than it had ever been before. And it didn't take Jonas convincing JT this was happening. JT got to see it, right? And so we go through this psychology of the program. You guys need to understand the first 2 weeks is all about staying in contact with people, making sure they have the answers they need from you, the questions and concerns they have. Weeks 3 and 4 is where they start to look at you as the expert. Weeks 3 and 4 is where your opinion really goes up in value in their mind. And so what I'm urging you to do is don't look at this as an opportunity to sell people. That's where you lose people. Look at an opportunity to coach people to the right supplementation that Prime My Body offers that's going to help them long-term feel and be better. So we have more stuff, Jonas, to get into, but let me jump it back to you to fill in any gaps or any thoughts or any feelings you have in that same realm and the stuff that you've seen, because I think this as a coach, and then once you're done, Jonas, we'll jump right back into now how to start answering questions during these weeks. But as a coach, Jonas, you know, you have a really huge impact on what people's programs are like because of the information you're able to give them and help them. Otherwise, you wouldn't be needed, right? Just be like, here's a package off my shelf. Don't talk to me again, right? Yeah. Give me your money and see you later. That doesn't work well. So go ahead. I'll jump back to you.
No, I think everything you're saying is right. And it's that ideology and the philosophy that we get behind. It's teaching them. It's not selling them. That's a very big point. You can't sell somebody to lose weight and make sacrifices. You just can't sell them. They have to want it for themselves. We don't sit here and say, you know, I hope, I wish, I pray that you lose weight. Sorry, if they don't want to do it, they're not going to do it. So just make sure that you hold prideful to what we have. We have the best gift out there. If somebody's really wanting to detox, if they're wanting to lose weight, if they're wanting to just transform their body and they're sick and tired of going down the path of them being sick and tired. This is what we have. And so it's standing your ground first and foremost. You can't go to, oh my gosh, I'm a weight loss coach, let me help you. People are going to look at you and go, excuse me, back off. But when you bring it up, oh my God, I was so proud of one of my clients. What do your clients do? Oh, she just lost 25 pounds. Really? How'd she do that? Y'all going to the gym all the time? No. We have a protocol that we've just launched, a few months ago. It's the fastest weight loss that I've ever seen. Really? Yeah. I mean, I'm even sitting in a medical clinic and people still think that, how is it? I just had a couple today that came in. How is this even possible that you can lose that much? Because Jonas, I go to the gym, I try this, I eat that, but I'm busier now. We have 5 kids now. I'm working now. Hey, you know what? Everything you're doing, I'm not saying it was wrong, but do you have time to continue that lifestyle? No, because the wife came in. It's funny. The wife came in back in April. They came in today. I wasn't even expecting them on the schedule. They just came in. She's like, I wanted to bring my husband because I went home and I talked about everything you talked about. And I had no clue what I was talking about because people can't recite everything that you've been able to teach them and tell them. And so she brings the husband back from April to now, right? 4 months have gone by. She's gone in one direction with her weight up. And he's over here going, how is this even possible? They sit there, they buy 2 protocols, they buy some more stuff. I mean, it was $1,200 out of the office today, because people really want it. And so don't oversell it. If it's not their time, it's not their time. All they can do is put them in the 180 group, let them know that we're here. But that's really how you start off. You have to be successful. So yes, it's week 1 for them, but for us, it's to even get to week 1. How do you talk to somebody? What's that professional posture and composure that we need to have so that somebody goes, I'm listening. You're making a lot of sense because I've been sick. I've been tired. I've been overweight. I've been lethargic, whatever their have-beens might have been. Are you listening to them? Because everybody has their own story. We need to listen. We can't be so gung-ho about our product that we don't listen. They're the most important person. People, they want to be heard. They just want to be, you'll see it on 180 group all the time. People just want to be heard. They go, well, this is my problem. And I love it because 20 or 30 people will hit and go, don't worry, I've had that problem too. That's the best part about the community. It's like, I can't personally answer realistically what their problems are. But when we have this community, they're not the only ones that have done it this way. And so I love seeing, oh my God, I've lost this, I've done that. And that's what we do. So it's just, but it's about setting them up to get started. That is where we win the race. That is where we win for them and their health. And then we win with us being able to help coach them. So no, I love what you're talking about, Kev. Let's keep this thing, keep the show rocking and rolling here.
All right, so we'll talk a little bit more about maintenance and some of those things after a bit, but I want to go back now and start talking about coaching. So in all of my years of coaching on this program, and I've kind of mentioned these on a couple of these calls, I have never had a person come to me and say, hey, you know what? I'm messing up on the program. I'm not following it as outlined, and I want you to fix it for me. Never. What you will hear, and I've heard this from tons of Prime My Body people, either their coaches or the person, hey, my person's following the program to a T. My person is doing the program exactly as outlined, yet they're not losing any weight. I will tell you, there's only one or two reasons why people don't lose on this program. They're not following the protocol intentionally or unintentionally, period. Now, there are a few extenuating circumstances, okay, and we'll get into that. But my point is, when somebody comes to you, you're never going to get anywhere with them saying, oh, well, you're messing something up on the program. Let's figure out what it is. They're going to be frustrated because a lot of times people aren't even aware that they're messing it up. Okay, they're not just doing this intentionally. Some people are, some aren't. What I do, and the first thing you're going to ask, this is the number one rule of coaching, the 180 system. You know, hey, coach, I'm having a problem on my program. Can you help me? The first thing you're going to say is, send me your journal. Take a picture with your smartphone, text it over to me, scan it, email it, whatever you have to do, whatever their ability is, send me a picture of your journal. I don't want a computer typed out dissertation of your journal. I want to see your journal. Now, I've had a lot of people over the years send me a journal when I ask for it, and it's all written in the exact same pen and the exact same handwriting, because people's handwriting changes day to day, depending on a good day, bad day, frustrated, happy, whatever. And when I see this perfect journal, I'm like, that journal was just fabricated because I just asked for it. They're going from memory. And so I'll start asking them, and sure enough, yeah, I remember what I ate, but I had to get you something written down. You're like, okay, well, I can't help you. I can't really go through and see what happened from your memory. It has to be tracked. And so the reason you're doing this is when you look at a journal, let's say it's Friday, and somebody says, hey, I haven't lost weight all week. I get their journal. I'm going to go back. Let's say the last day they lost weight was on Monday. I'm going to look at what they did on Tuesday, and then I want to look at what happened Wednesday and Thursday. Thursday is the day I'm most interested in, 2 days after they ate something, right? And I'm looking for trends and patterns. And what I see most of the time, the most common mistake is people are doing, let's say for meat eaters, it's chicken and beef. People focus on those two things. It's chicken, beef, chicken, beef, chicken, beef, chicken, beef. They don't do any other fish, anything else, because they don't like it. And they're probably doing, like one vegetable that they're rotating every other one, or they're eating the same vegetable every meal. I'm looking for this repetitive, because you guys need to understand the body needs variety with 180. And I always tell people, take 4 items from each area: protein, vegetable, and fruit. Now, there's only 4 fruits available. And if somebody can't have a fruit, then obviously that's off the list, and they're down to 3 for that. But 3 would be the minimum that people have to rotate foods through. And by the way, eating ground beef and buffalo and venison, those are all red meats. They need to rotate other things in there, the chicken, the fish. Or if they're doing fish, you can't just say, well, I'm going to do tilapia, I'm going to do cod, and I'm going to do shellfish. Those are all still seafoods that you're rotating through. So you need to have that variety coming through your system to see the weight loss coming off. So we're looking for patterns. We're looking for things that they've eaten. You'll find that people will actually even eat foods that are on the protocol. I found that some people, chicken was stopping their weight loss. It's allowed, but in that person's case, it was stopping their weight loss. Like, look at every day you ate chicken, the next day your weight loss is slower, and then the second day it completely went to 0. Let's get chicken out of your protocol. So as a coach, I'm actually even looking for allowed foods. Just because it's allowed doesn't mean a person's body won't have a hard time tolerating that for particular individuals. Now, it's not often allowed foods are the culprit, but it can happen. So that's what you're looking for. I'm looking for patterns. What time are they eating? You know, somebody's like, yeah, I work really hard. I come home, I eat at 11 o'clock and I go right to bed. Okay, that's a problem. Let's scale this back. When can you eat earlier in the evening? So there's 2 or 3 hours at least before you go to bed, right? So you're looking, and the best way to do this I have found is to just simply ask them to walk you through their day. Can you walk me through your day? How do you eat? How do you prepare your food? I have found so many errors this way. People are like, yeah, I come home and I cook my dinner. I'm like, wait, stop. Walk me through every step of how you cooked your dinner. And that's where somebody will be talking and they'll say, you know what, I get the pan and I throw a little bit of butter in there and then I stick my chicken in there and we're like, oh, time out. Walk back to that butter part. You know, they're like, well, yeah, I don't want to stick to the pan. I'm like, but butter's not on the protocol. Well, yeah, but how did I not get it from sticking on the pan? And they didn't tell me this because in their mind, it's just what they had to do. And so this is how I start to work backwards as I coach people and say, let's see where the problem is. I ask them questions, walk through your day, how you're doing it, and you start to get things in pictures that emerge. Most of the time, you'll see the problem right in the journal when they send it to you. When you don't, then you go to that point where you start asking questions and do those types of things. So this is step one. This is freshman year, freshman class, coaching 101. Ask for your journal. So in that context, Jonas, let me throw it back over to you. Add to that or any other aspects in freshman class 101 coaching, Jonas Craft style. What are the things that you find are the most critical, most important if somebody's a brand new coach to have the success that you've had with your customers?
Yeah, no, you're right. It's ask questions. The more questions you can ask, the better. You need a full understanding. Someone can't come to you and go, oh, so what do you think about this? And you have the answer. The old adage is he or she who is asking the question is in control of the conversation. So if you're not asking questions, you're out of control. So we have to ask those questions where it's, if y'all see me respond to people on Facebook, if they don't ask the question, I ask like 1 or 2 questions in mind. So that way, because I go, I don't even know how to respond to this right now. I don't know where it's coming from. So don't think that you always have the answer right off the get-go, because you don't really even know the question. Again, people want to be heard. They want to be understood. And that's just where we have to sit there and continually ask them those questions. I'm all for that because we need to know what it is, especially if they hit a bump in the road. Now, week 1, personally, I don't try to, I'm just, guys, I'm so busy. I have people here. I have people at the clinic. I can't really be on top of people, but I'm going to give you a perfect example of a negative example that just happened. A gentleman started last week. He hit me up on like his 2nd or 3rd day. Oh, Jonas, I have this, I have that going on. And so I asked him, I said, well, so, okay, you can get through that, but can you do the protocol this week? And he goes, yeah, I can. And I didn't follow up with him. Guess who didn't show up today? Him. So this is a perfect example of why we do just touch base with them, give them that motivation. We tried doing the emails and just everybody was starting at different times. So the emails would hit people differently. So what we're going to do is we're going to put just a calendar on the My 180 page. So that way you can go click whatever day you're on. You can go click it and get your motivation for that day and what's really happening. But that's why we're trying to do so many things and just figuring out all the moving parts, because there's so many people that have come on to do the 180 protocol that, some people have their own calls, some people have their own Facebook pages, some people have their own stuff. And so they're kind of doing their own thing. Hopefully they find their way, but if y'all want it, here's where it is right here. Then go make it yours. Go be the coach. But yeah, definitely follow up with them. Week 1 is something extremely big. So I just told y'all what happened to me when somebody purchased it, didn't follow through week 1. They didn't show up for our meeting today. So I completely agree with that, Kevin. Week 1 is the busiest. And a lot of y'all are hitting in the chats too, saying, yeah, get people through week 1. They're on board because they've already lost 5, 10, 15 pounds in their first week. Then they're going, okay, I think I got this. I get that it's up to me. But yes, look at their journals. The journal is so important to look at. And if they don't write it in there, talk to them, because that's huge, Kevin, what you just said about the butter in the pan. Little things. Oh, well, as I was making food for my daughters or my children, I would eat a little bit here and there. Well, hold on. You can't be doing that. This protocol isn't about eating whatever you want, whenever you want, and taking the drops. No, the protocol runs everything as strict as can be with the foods on the list. And if you don't like the foods on the list, like Kevin said, You do not have to eat every single food on the list. Like I had that with some more people in my office today as well. Well, Jonas, but I don't like, that's fine. It doesn't say you have to eat it. It says, if it's not on the list, don't eat it. It doesn't say you have to eat everything on here. So make it yours, but pick at least 3 proteins, 3 veggies, 3 fruits, so you can rotate. Kevin, I did know that there was, Dr. Kim asked a question in there. I don't know if everybody got to see that about fruits. Did you respond to that? I guess.
Yeah, I responded. In fact, I was gonna pull that up. They were saying a couple of people actually asked the same question. One person was allergic to all the fruits on the list, and another person couldn't have some of the fruits on the list. And this is a really valid point. When people have to alter the program because of physical limitations, medical limitations, you always want to be encouraging. This is rule number 2. If journal is number 1, this is number 2. No matter what you talk to somebody, you must always end up positive. Okay, so for an example, I've had people come to me, Kevin, and I'm struggling, what's going on? And we look through their journal, we see the things they're messing up on. And what I tell them is, congratulations, based on what you're doing, you're right where you should be. And they're like, what? And I'm like, based on all the mistakes you've made, you're right where you should be. The program's working perfectly the way it should work with what you just did. Now, if you want better results, then we need to alter what you did. But you're also still losing weight. You just lost 12 pounds in 2.5 weeks. When's the last time you lost 12 pounds in 30 days? Well, I've never lost 12 pounds in 30 days. Okay, well, you just did that in 2.5 weeks. So I know your buddy next to you just lost 22, but they did things you didn't do, right? They stayed on the program you didn't do, intentionally or unintentionally, doesn't matter. It's where we are. And you're still losing great weight. You're still having a great protocol. You're still detoxing yourself. Everything needs to come from a positive perspective, not one of, you kind of messed this up and, we'll just do what we can do. And people want to quit at that point, right? Always positive. So back to the fruit question. People are like, I can only eat one of the 4 fruits. What do I do? Well, you're going to do the best you can. You're going to have that one fruit. It's ultimately going to slow down your weight loss. So just understand, when you see somebody losing 20 to 25 pounds in a month and you lose 12 to 15, don't get angry and frustrated. Your body doesn't have all the tools somebody else's body has because you can't handle it. You're allergic to it. That's okay. You're still detoxing. You're still going to shrink. We're still going to get rid of stubborn body fat. But I set their expectations where their expectations should be. Now, I even tell them there are extenuating circumstances where you still might lose 20 to 25 pounds. It doesn't mean that that's what you'll have to lose. Just mentally, don't get on calls and be frustrated because everybody's further along than you that can have all of the different food items they're supposed to have. And when people understand that from the get-go, and when they understand that you're talking from positivity, you're going to detox your body, you're going to shrink your body, and you're going to lose weight faster than you've lost ever before in your life. And by the way, we're going to reshape your body. Even if you lose 14 pounds and somebody else loses 30, we've still reshaped your body. It might take an extra session or 2 for you, but you're still going to get to the same place they're at. So that's kind of what I didn't give that long of an answer in the type ones because I just can't type that much. But that's the general gist right there.
And
somebody else asked.
I want to add on to that real quick. You never know, because sometimes food allergies and airborne allergies and seasonal allergies, they do the same thing. As we start to detox somebody's body, depending now if they need an EpiPen because they're allergic to peanuts, that's a different story. But sometimes we see people going, hey, I can eat this again. I'm not flaring up again. Because right now, if they're inflamed, it's like the straw that breaks the camel's back. It wasn't the 50 pounds of hay on it before. It was that extra straw that broke the back. So think of it this way, with food and with fruits, especially, and some of the veggies that are there, as we get rid of some of that excess inflammation and they try to add that fruit in again, depending on, I've just seen it happen where they go, I can't have this. I used to always be allergic to X, Y, and Z, but now I can have it. Just to throw that out there as we detox the body. Go ahead, Kevin.
No, sorry, I was just looking at a question and answer. So somebody asked about what's the 4th fruit. I was typing in here. The 4th fruit is grapefruit, so it's a half a grapefruit. So we got apples, oranges, strawberries, and 1/2 grapefruit. So those are your 4 fruit choices that you have. Again, at least 3 is the minimum. If somebody is allergic to things, again, just be honest with them. They're probably going to lose a little bit less than others. But again, it doesn't mean they're going to. So remember, you guys hear me say don't should on people. You're just preparing them, but you're not saying this is absolutely written in stone. You're only going to lose 12 pounds. You're just saying this is probably what's going to happen. However, for example, I've had vegans and vegetarians do this program as women and lose 30 pounds. It's not normal, but it happens. And so I don't go to every vegan and vegetarian and say, your expectation should be 30 pounds, because I already know they're probably not going to hit that, right? But if they're like, but can I lose as much as somebody else? Well, sure, I've had other people do it, but out of 100, there might be only maybe 8 or 9. So you just need to understand where your perspective is there. Okay, so as we go into maintenance and we go through that maintenance process, the first 3 weeks, remember guys, you want to teach and coach people. The number one mistake that people make, and I just want to check real quick our time, make sure we don't go, we're at time, so we're going to wrap this up. I'll talk this, Jones, and throw back to you to wrap it up, any details you want to do. With maintenance, the number one mistake people make is they get into maintenance having eaten a very small portion of food for 30 days. People go into maintenance wanting to be good, and so they keep eating this small portion of food over the next 6 weeks, and that's not resetting their body. And then they struggle keeping their weight off long-term, and they wonder why the system didn't work. So you've got to encourage people to get back to eating the volume of food and calories that their body needs. They don't need to count calories every day. It doesn't take much to figure out what you need for your body, but you've got to do that. And a good indicator for you as coaches, if you're coaching somebody through and they finish the first week of maintenance and they haven't done a steak and apple day, I immediately ask that person to send me their journal. I want to see what they're eating right away, because I almost can guarantee that they're eating like a bird and not doing what they should be doing for maintenance. And I want to correct that now, not later. The person should do 2 steak and apple days first 3 weeks. That's average. 1 is okay. 3 is okay. But 3, again, I want to see a journal as soon as that 3rd one's done to find out what's going on. Why are we doing 3 and not just 2? And see what habits or what I can do to coach them to figure out what's not working for them. Remember, the better you help somebody finish this transformation journey, the stronger your opinion matters to that person. Okay, and what I want is I want to see people have long-term changes. I don't want to see people coming back to do the 180 system every 3 months because they failed on the first one, or they failed to understand what has to happen to change it. Now, to be honest, when I've seen people just completely fail, it takes them about 6 months, honestly, to come back and do the system again, because that's how good their body reacts even when they screw it up. So they don't come back 3 months, probably is not a fair statement. I had to correct myself there because that's really not accurate. It takes longer than that to get them back. But my point is I'm trying to make to you is you're doing people a service if you can teach them about nutrition and the value of the products. They're going to help keep their body healthy long term. I do the 180 system so that I can open people's minds. What I talk about this system is in 30 days, we're going to crack their brains open. I'm going to go from a hard head, closed off, I don't want to hear what you're selling, to holy crap, Dr. Darren Mitchell, I'm having anxiety about getting rid of my drops. What do I do, right? And if he's on the call, I love that story. That's what this is all about. This is about you being able to have an opportunity to affect people's lives for good. So we have a lot more to talk about maintenance. We'll cover things in upcoming weeks, but just understand in maintenance, steak and apple days are your indicator as a coach, whether people are on target or off target most of the time doing maintenance correctly. So I know there's a question there, Jonas. I'll let you finish up and land the plane.
Yeah. The basal numbers. I know Sherry was asking that. Yes, go to that and then put the numbers in. Again, we're not here to say we're a calorie counting company. We're a paleo company. We're a vegan company. We're a vegan company. We just want people to get back to where they are. You can show some of those numbers so that way let people run their life the way they want to run it. And like Kevin said earlier, we just hope, like John Taylor going to Montana, he made several smarter decisions while he was there that he would have 2 years ago. So when you do this, it's about understanding and going through the process and going, what is my body like? What doesn't my body like? If you forget everything you learned in 30 days, guess what? Your weight's going to come back and then some. That's a no-brainer. But if you start saying, hey, you know what? I picked up this new skill. I like this. I like how my body reacts. I like that I've gotten rid of X, Y, and Z negatives. I like that I'm sleeping better, have more energy. You be the judge on what you want to put in your body. You get to put fuel in there every single day in the form of calories. What is that? And what can we learn through that? We're going to do this again next Monday. Come with questions. Come with maybe real life implications of what might have happened the week prior to, between now and next Monday. What happened? Did you get somebody that said something that you couldn't answer? We want to know those things. How would we have answered it? We might be right, we might be wrong, but hey, at least you get different points of view, because we've helped so many people, and it's, how do we do this? Let's keep this this call rocking. Y'all are doing great. And then Thursday will be for everybody brand new. Tonight, here in 25 minutes, Paul Rogers, our CEO, will be on to talk about major changes and things that we're going to do with the Rise event here in Austin, Texas. So get your people on. There's going to be chances for every single person all over the globe to see this. I don't want to tell y'all what's going on. I'll let Paul say it, but make sure you're on there in about 25 minutes. You will hear from our CEO, Mr. Paul Rogers. Kevin, thank you so much. We'll see you here on Thursday so we can talk about, for everybody starting the protocol, and then back here again next Monday for all the coaches and coaching the coaches. So thank y'all for being on. We will talk to y'all very, very soon. Bye-bye.
Yeah.